We are live from Pensacola, Florida at the virtual Five Flag Speedway, the home of the Snowball Derby, and tonight it plays as home to XCAL's $5 Tuesday Series. After a historical week that the XCAL community will not forget, we welcome you to Five Flag Speedway for the XCAL Racing Web Shop 275 with a full field. Good evening, friends. Marty Sakala with you in a glorious dusk sunset here at Five Flags alongside Doug Burns, who is providing the cameras as well tonight and producing in the studio. Doug, we are back here with a full field. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to it. First time back here with you in a little while. First off, just talk about what went down last week with only a 3-car field.
Not a whole lot. Last week it really came down to some bold strategy moves to pull off the victory, but man, it was for only 3 cars at Bristol. It was a bit interesting. Obviously a lot of drivers sitting out last week. 3 cars for 315 laps at Bristol. It came down to fuel mileage. Some of the drivers still trying to figure out how it was pulled off, but a miracle run, some first-time podium finishes. Like I said, I don't know what words to say. 3 out of 43 cars on track for 315 laps. It's still something that is in my mind constantly. It was weird, but kind of cool. But glad to have a full field of 37, 38 cars out here tonight.
Absolutely, and more importantly to you, it is great to be back with you for tonight's event. Tonight, starting on the pole is Alex Krapser. We'll talk with him right now. Alex, how much are you looking forward to being back racing in XCAL this week and looking forward to Five Flags starting on pole position?
Really looking forward to it. Definitely missed Bristol last week. I think we picked up the win there last season, so it's tough to miss that. But looking forward to this Five Flags race. I don't know, Petey could probably tell you, but this feels like my first ever XCAL pole, so definitely exciting, confidence boost after the way this beginning of the season's gone.
Yeah, absolutely. Just looking ahead into tonight, you're one of the best drivers here in XCAL. You got a top 5 and 2 top 10s. Is this your best opportunity to get a top 5 or maybe even a podium finish this year?
I think so. I mean, I kind of consider myself a pretty well-rounded driver, but obviously I've been better on the short tracks since I rejoined XCAL. This year we've been terrible on the big tracks. Managed to get a 7th at Phoenix, but that's about it. But our only top 5 came on a short track at USA, so definitely a chance for us to get back in the top 5 after how well we ran at USA and how well we've been practicing this week.
Good luck tonight, Alex.
Thanks, Marty.
Alex Krapser starting on pole position. Now, one of the bigger changes that's been happening within the past few weeks is that K2 Motorsports was sold, formerly owned by Paul Coleman Jr., and the new owner is Art Hendren in the 37. We've got him and his driver John Brancaccio with you. Art, I will start off with you, just pretty much how the deal with you and Sauce Boy and Paul Coleman were able to get this done, and you owning a couple of cars now.
Art, did you hear Marty?
Yeah, I'm talking to him.
We're having some technical... Art, can you hear us? You got a copy?
You hear me, Marty?
Yes, we got you now. You need me to repeat the question?
Sorry about that. Yes.
All right, so just how your deal with Paul pretty much got done and how much you're looking forward to being an owner now in XCAL Racing.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Paul wanted to sell the team, and I was driving for him, and I decided I wanted to go ahead and buy the team from him, so that's what I did. So,
Johnny B, new ownership, how has that been so far with Paul treating you?
Oh, it's great. Art and I get along good. We've been actually started in XCAL last year together. And, you know, we were teammates for a little bit. And we decided we wanted to be teammates this year. We brought him into K2 with us, and Paul treated us pretty good, and everything's great. I mean, if we get a chance and Paul can drive for us, we'll let him drive 1 or 2 races, you know, if he can.
All right,
But
sounds good. Yeah.
It's been great.
Awesome to hear. Gentlemen, good luck to you tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks.
That's Johnny B and Art Hendren. One of the bigger storylines that has come out of the XCAL organization. Let's also talk with another driver making his return to the series for the first time in a little while. That is PDJ, a.k.a. the Rooster Zeller. PDJ, just talk about returning here to Five Flags tonight and starting from the 7th position.
Yeah, it feels good to be back out there. I've definitely liked my car a lot. The JNS Racing team has given me a very, very fast 00 machine. I'd like to just give a quick shout out to my sponsor, Monsoon by Jeff Young as well. Really happy they came on board for this. But one of the main reasons I wanted this interview before the race, I just wanted to come out and tell all the fans, thank you for coming back. Obviously everyone knows there was the whole ordeal last week between the owners and the president of XCAL Racing. There was a whole toss-up where we didn't race for a whole week. No one liked it. Everyone wanted to be out there on the track. Everyone wanted to work to a resolution. I'm very proud of all the drivers for coming together and working towards getting back into XCAL and not doing other ventures. I'm happy that the president was able to talk with these guys, and I'm happy that he, came to a resolution with these guys. And I'm just really proud right now to be the vice president of XCAL Racing and to have everyone back out here on the track. Really, everyone did a fantastic job. We had a rough patch there, but everyone really worked towards getting back out there, and you're going to be rewarded with a full 38-car field tonight.
This is your best start on an oval by far this year. I shouldn't say by far. You start in 7th tonight. Talk about the chances you've got with your 00 machine tonight.
Yeah, talking about my race, it's a good car. Yeah, the 00 machine's fast. I'm running pretty much the same thing Craps are on the poles running. Not my favorite track in the world, but I think I have speed to be up in the top 5. I've had a rough start to the year, Marty. I only have one top 10 in the first 5 races. Phoenix, I had a top 5 car, got involved in an incident that took me out of contention there. That one really stung. I really hope that I can come out today with a top 5, but I would take a top 10 too.
All right, good luck tonight, Petey.
Thank you, Marty. Good luck to you guys up here, too.
Appreciate it. PDJ Zeller starting in 7th position tonight. One more driver to talk with before we break down this race is Pat Sullivan. Pat, first off, yes, I know it's not a super speedway, which you know me, I do good at, but we're at a short track tonight. Talk about returning to the series and being back here at Five Flags Speedway, starting from 26th tonight.
Well, it's been a little bit of a struggle this week for our team. We're having a little bit of a hard time finding a setup that works for us. It's good to be back, though. It's good to see all the guys, and the fast guys are fast.
Definitely it is. So we wish you the best of luck tonight, and hopefully we see you on the podium.
Yeah, 10-4. Thanks, Marty.
Pat Sullivan, starting from behind the top 20. Doug, let's break it down here for you tonight. 275 laps around Five Flags Speedway, and there are a couple things that will be interesting tonight. Number one, there's pretty much only one groove here with the banking around Five Flags, and that's the low groove. But number two as well, we are racing in the dark, and Five Flags is a track that has low visibility, produces a lot of shadows when you're racing under the lights.
Oh, it definitely is. Riding behind, let's hop in. Dial up Jim Johnson's in-car here, and there's still some sunlight coming as Jim just goes to pit road. We'll hop in Edmund Jones. We'll find another car to hop into here. Edmund Jones, it gets dark down in the corner entry into 3, and a lot of drivers going in. We're having trouble getting an in-car. It gets dark at the bottom of the track, and the back straightaway down to 3 and 4 is downhill. You've got brightness in the middle of the back straight, brightness in the middle of the front stretch, but those turns are a little bit dark and it can get a little bit tricky. However, we will get to see literal sparks fly here tonight when these cars get a little run in and start bouncing all over. We'll get to see some sparks flying off the cars. That's always fun. But it does get tricky when you get down in these corners. I really think last week was the first time XCAL ever went green to checkers with no cautions. Obviously pretty easy to do given the circumstances. But I don't think we see green to checkers here tonight, Marty.
We'll have to see what happens here for 275 circuits around Five Flags Speedway. Austin Edwards currently the quickest in warm-ups as we put ahead to that. at a 17.85. In fact, everyone else separated on the time, I want to say just about 0.3 of a second at the moment. Tonight's race is brought to you by our friends at the XCAL Racing web shop. Head to www.xcalracing.com and click shop for all the newest and hottest merch around XCAL Racing. Some of our newest products include flip-floppers and headbands. With that being said, here is the starting lineup. 38 drivers are eligible for the green flag. It's Alex Krapser and Kyle Martin that make up the front row. Row number 2, Alex Gratz and Mason Foster. Row 3, Stephen Rex and Austin Edwards, the first driver not amongst the heat winners. Row 4 is PDJ Zeller and Kendrick Cryer. And rounding out the top 10, Luke Turpin in the 454. Watch him closely tonight, along with Blake Wynn. Doug?
11th place will be Greg Holes, and Jonathan Bronson starts in 12th. Zach Edwards 13th, and Jeff Edgar in 14th. Edmund Jones in 15th, and Art Hendren 16th. Sean Andrews in 17th. Jorge Bustos starting in 18th. Matt Pelletier starts 19th. John Friley in 20th. Kyle Bartle starting 21st. Chris Johnson starting 22nd in Matt Bear's car tonight. 23rd, Derek Colson. Jeremy Leto in 24th. Rodney German 25th. Pat Sullivan starting 26th. Robert Colgan in 27th. Albie Hewins 28th. 29th is Nicholas Seams, and Joe Campbell starting 30th. You want to take it, Marty?
Absolutely, I'm better now. Then the drivers that are receiving provisionals from 28th on down, Row 16, Gerald Poole and James Johnson. Row 17, John Bergeron and Jose Gaudino. Row 18 is Travis Sukup, Stephen Wetton. And in row 19, Daniel Miller and Ryan Seams. Not qualifying in the race, Chris Johnson, Rodney Herman, James Johnson, Gerald Poole, Art Hendren, Larry Anderson, and Don Jordan. And a correction, by the way, Herman is in the show, this time in the 67 and not the 69. Here we go, folks, down the back straight area, ready to go green for the first full field in a couple of weeks. Race fans, where else would you rather be than right here, right now? As you see the iRacing pace truck make its way down pit road, Aaron Hillebush ready to throw the green flag, and it's showtime here at Five Flags. What a start for Alex Krapser as Kyle Martin is caught sleeping down into turn 1.
Yeah, Alex caught them all sleeping on that restart. You got to wonder if he had the gearing right, but he is off like a bullet. Everybody seems to be clear so far, seeing a possible couple of incidents mid-pack, but right now everybody still has the cars going the right way as we complete the first lap, and Five Flags is, as we mentioned in pre-race, a tricky track. Downhill down the back.
Double. Rodney Herman is around in the 57. We also saw Jose Gaudino spin earlier in the 20. No caution. We stay under the green flag, and it only took 2 laps, by the way, for someone's chat to be disabled. Fun fact, for those that are new to XCAL Racing, everyone must be in their specific driver communication, which is known as Rail PD. If you speak under anything else, whether it be drivers or all teams, your chat will be disabled because Aaron Hillebush does not want to hear anything that you want to say unless it is directly to him, saying that somebody is blinking. Good battle side by side happening. That is the battle for 5th position between PDJ Zeller and Stephen Rex. Nice racing going on between them. Luke Turpin also a part of it.
Yeah, and we saw the 2 incidents. Obviously, Gaudino's incident, he has to check up into turn 1 and gets bumped from behind.
Battle for the lead.
A similar situation for Rodney, as here comes Alex Gratz getting past Alex Krapser and takes the lead, first lead change of the night. Gratz going down the back straightaway, as we mentioned, downhill down into turns 3, uphill into turn 1. The car cannot be set up for any particular turn. You've got to find the best balance between both ends of the track, and that balance is usually a bit on the loose side.
Yeah, Krapser pretty much just let Gratz go by, maybe possibly be trying to save his tires a little bit. A very abrasive surface here at Five Flags, especially in turns 3 and 4 when you get on that low line. A lot more banking, I believe there is Then in 1 and 2, iRacing may say it's got the same banking, but trust me, if you feel it in the car, it's not. First side-by-side battle happening after the top 8 are single file. Even Rex currently in the sucker hole at the moment, was stuck on the outside line. And after PDJ Zell and Luke Turpin got by, he has not been able to find a hole down on the bottom until now. He goes back into 10th position on track.
Yeah, that it's really tough. I've seen drivers make a move up on the high side more than once, but you really have had to have set up and planned to make that move, and it's hard to do it early in the run when everybody's on fresh tires. You have to have planned for late run passes up to the high side. Once we've been out here for a while, once the track has some rubber laid down, we'll see guys be able to move forward on the high side, but they've got a ways to go. Right now, this first half of the race, guys are on the outside. They're stuck out there. They're going to lose positions, and they are so close on track, nose to tail, they are going to lose a lot of ground if they're not careful. Good evening, Cortland.
Yeah, Rex is still continuing to fall back. Just lost the spot to Jonathan Bronson, and soon to be Blake winning the 99. I think he'll be able to make the pass stick off of turn 2. Is it surprising, by the way, here, Doug, to see Luke Turpin currently in the 6th position and not inside the top 3?
A little bit, but you know, I have to think Luke Turpin is always playing the strategy move. I'm really surprised he hasn't jumped up there to 5th place, but it's still, I mean, he started 9th, he's up to 6th. I'd give it a little time. He'll be in the top 5, but we know, Luke, this could come down to a strategy race if this thing stays green for a long period of time. And, well, Luke probably has a few extra gallons of gas in the car. Probably has some guy filling the tank up in the trunk as he drives. That is the only way that man gets as much fuel mileage as he does. And I guarantee you later in the run, he's going to be up battling for the win.
Probably using as well Race Lab apps that a lot of people use for automatic fuel calculation. So Gratz continues to lead as about a 3.5 second of a lead to Alex Kraft. So they're working on lap traffic. That's Ronnie Herman in the 57 and Jose Gaudino. Remember, both of those guys spun out at the start of the race. Now, if you're wondering why is Herman in the Big Block Motorsports number 57 ride, well, no driver was pretty much available for the 57, and Herman said, I'll step up. Don Jordan was okay with it, and so Herman is in. Yours truly of a ride, and battling Jose Gaudino for the 36th spot. Gratz just signaled to the back markers that you guys pick a line, I'll find my way around you, and I don't know if Gratz wants to see the drivers in last place battling in front.
No, he really did not. Fortunately, one of them goes up to the high side. Gaudino hops to the high side to stay out of the way, but Rodney, he gets down to 3 or 4. He goes up to the high side, but that had to have made Alex just a little bit nervous up there. You know, that's not the kind of situation you want to see in front of you when the lap car gets too wide. And you talk about how quickly both those drivers had issues on lap 1 or lap 2. Regardless of that, this track is a half-mile track. The laps are running at 17.9 to 18 seconds right now. Lap traffic will become an issue sooner rather than later. They're only a straightaway ahead of Alex Gratz right now. Art Hendren in 35th, only about a straightaway ahead. So lap traffic is going to be an interesting situation here tonight, especially with the difficulty of this track. And I have to ask, Marty, who's your pick for tonight? Let's get the picks out of the way early here.
Yeah, that's a tough one. He won the last XCAL race I commentated, because it's been a while for me. In case you're wondering where the heck I've been busy calling some hockey games in my area. That's been really paying the bills pretty well. So give me Luke Turpin to win Bing Bong, in the words of Matt Baer.
Luke Turpin is always a safe bet, but you have to go with the 3rd place car at the head of the Edwards High Performance Race Team. Austin Edwards, he was looking this season to break his own win record from last season, looking for a championship, and has put himself in that position every single race he's been in. I kind of think Austin Edwards, we're going to see him get back to victory lane tonight.
Edwards, your points leader, coming on in. He's got one win this season. That came at the paperclip of Martinsville Speedway, and always a threat on the short tracks, no matter what. You talked about as well, Doug, this is a half-mile circuit. I guess you could compare maybe possibly to Bristol Motor Speedway, just with a lot less spanking.
A lot less banking, a lot less speed, but a lot trickier to drive in some ways. Although, in my opinion, a lot more fun to drive. I'm a bigger fan of this than I am Bristol. It just feels fun to drive. It's almost, you have to really compare it to North Wilkesboro. Wilkesboro is about 5/8 of a mile. This is a half mile, but Wilkesboro's downhill down the front straightaway, uphill down the back, and vice versa here. But that uphill downhill just adds some strategy to it. It adds a little bit of excitement to it. It adds a little bit more patience and a little bit more.
Kendrick Cryer just caught the inside wall on turn number 4, and I have no idea how he saved that machine. Currently in 7th spot, right in front of Mason Foster. So he'll have a pretty good look of that. I'm going to try and take a look here. Cryer just said something on the radios. I'm not too sure what it was, but that got a little bit crazy.
He actually looks like he barely has any damage to the left side of that car. Maybe a little bit of a scratch and maybe something around that left rear, but I don't think it's impacting him. He's still sending it.
Yeah, he may have probably just scuffed the paint on that left front fender from the looks of it. But it really did look like to me, from my perspective, that Cryer just got a little bit too loose in turn 4, that he put a little bit too much right foot in it and just caused him to fade on back. Battle for the lead, though, is on. Here comes Alex Krebser inside on Gratz in 1. Let's see who gets to the point.
Yeah, those J&S teams have really been coming on strong all season long. You know, J&S started the season with a win, and they have been, last season they came on really strong toward the end of the season. This season they started out extremely strong with that win. Expect for them to be in contention every week, especially with a guy up there like Crabser, who is notoriously fast and steady and just a great overall driver. This is the kind of track, though, that lends itself to an older, more patient driver. So you have to watch and see the guys that you normally see lose a little patience, get a little frustrated, start making mistakes. They're going to go backwards here. The guys that have a lot of patience or are just older and used to being more patient, like myself, they are going to be going toward the front before long.
Absolutely. Alex Crafter won a couple of races, won the ending race, the season finale that took place at Charlotte. And then when we began the season this year at Charlotte, Joe Campbell, the owner of the J&S Racing Squad, took home the checkers, the happiest we'll ever see. Now, Alex Gratz and Austin Edwards, they are teammates. Edwards is in his own team for this season. It'll be interesting to see how they encounter that. Will Gratz let Edwards go? So Edwards can go for the race lead, because we know he's got a fast car. That is for sure. And also Kyle Martin closing in, also a part of the Edwards clan.
Yeah. First off, I don't see Alex letting the boss by, but the problem that these EHP cars have, they all base their setups start with the Edwards setup shop setup made by Austin Edwards. So these guys, their setups are pretty close. It comes down to driver skill. Obviously, these three up here are extremely fast. They race together quite often, so they know each other's driving styles really well as well. That does play into it. I don't think we'll see any pressure at this point in the race. I think you'll see teamwork to get all three of these cars a lap led for bonus points. And then I think we see them race for it late in the race, but I do think they get aggressive against each other. And it is
You saw that too.
No, I missed it. Was it Luke Turpin?
No, Alex Gratz got the wall off of turn 4.
He did. He grabbed a little bit of it. It is.
He's got a scuff on the door too. On the look at one of the digits on the number up top of the 1. You can see how there's some paint damage there.
Yeah, there definitely is. It doesn't look like he's gonna be affected much by it. Did lose a little bit of ground to the leader though due to that incident.
Absolutely. So right now, that's about a half second Alex Krapser's got working on a little bit of lap traffic. Let's see who that is. I think that is the 15 of
Austin
Stephen
goes to the
Wedden.
bottom. He went to second.
Yep, so the young hawk shot will let Austin Edwards go by in that number 18. I want to go back to another point you mentioned on the Edwards setup shop. I have used his setups many times, whether it be for the special events iRacing puts on, to just a regular street stock race on official setups. Edwards does an incredible job. His setups never disappoint, and they find their way up to the front without question. Let's go to another battle here happening in the field. Update you. Luke Turpin, Mason Foster battling it out for the 7th position. Foster not off to... Oh, hang on. Jorge Bustos. Nope, sorry there, my mistake. He was in a big lagging situation, so sorry about that. Back to Mason Foster, not off to the best start. Currently down in 8th position after starting in 4th. He was one of the heat race winners from yesterday.
Another one of those J&S cars. Look for him to start making a move back toward the front before too much longer, but it is interesting to see him lose a little bit of ground here early on. However, we have seen these J&S guys, they have really gotten the fuel mileage. Last season, one of the places they were lacking was in fuel mileage. They have gotten that figured out. They were having to pit earlier than everybody else. This season, they've been pitting later than... Look at how close they're getting to the inside wall there.
They are just asking for disaster to strike on them. Watch Zach Edwards here in the number 6, battling Jonathan Bronson behind Foster. That's a battle for a 9th place spot. You can see how they are hugging that wall that separates pit road from the racing groove. And I tell you what, you got to be really careful. It's kind of like, I'm trying to think of a track that is a lot similar to having that situation. It kind of reminds me of when you think of maybe Oxford Plains, because you know how in the apron it's got that little bit of a bump, and if you hit that bump dead on, your engine will go kaboom. It's kind of like that. However, though, there's just a wall right next with no room for error, and it's also like to Martinsville Speedway as Bronson clips the wall there for a moment.
Yeah, these guys are clipping the wall, going out on the straightaways and coming in. Luke Turpin, I think, might have clipped the wall that time as well. That allows Mason Foster down to the bottom. Foster has a run, and Turpin was way up there. They're trying to get as close to the wall mid-straightaway to carry as much momentum and low as possible through the turn, trying to pick up some speed. Meanwhile, it looks like, who's this? Zach Edwards started blinking there for a moment and has gone back a couple positions.
Yep, so Bronson's up to 9th. Turpin is back in 8th position. 50 laps are in the books here at Five Flag Speedway as Alex Krapser, Austin Edwards, Kyle Martin, Alex Gratz, and PDJ Zeller round out the top 5. We'll step aside. If something happens, we'll come back. Stay with us here in XCAL Racing.
Howdy, partner. This here's Higgins, the XCAL Superfan. Howdy, partner. This here's Higgins, the XCAL Superfan. Woo! This race promises to be a dookie, so I'm getting boozy. Woo! Howdy, partner. I'm so excited for next week's event that I'm shaking. Totally different shakes. Howdy, partner. You're watching XCAL Racing. Woo!
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt kicker. The future is feeling.
Welcome back here to Five Flag Speedway with live coverage of the XCAL Racing Web Shop 275 here at Five Flag Speedway. Marty Sakala alongside Doug Burns. Watching a battle for the lead happening in lap traffic between Alex Krapser and Austin Edwards. Krapser led from the start, then gave Gratz the lead. Krapser then fought back, and now Austin Edwards is on his tail. They've got about a second lead on third place Kyle Martin at the moment, Doug.
Yeah, interesting situation. As soon as they hit lap traffic, it became an issue of who navigates the lap traffic better. And Austin Edwards has his teammate behind him, but that gap is, it's fairly decent because there's lap traffic between them. And that is going to come into play later in the race as well if this thing stays green. And it's been 60 laps so far, very, very clean. We could see a even longer green flag run. And it looks like we may even start seeing green flag stops before too much longer. I heard some drivers saying some drivers were saying they could possibly make it on 3 stops. Some were saying it was going to be 4, some 5. Rodney Sherman has been to pit road. He was the first under green flag conditions, but everybody else out on track, still going at it, and fuel mileage might be the story of the day if the fuel strategies are that different.
Absolutely. I think we're maybe looking at a stint of somewhere maybe between 70 to 80 laps, maybe even 90 on that. So I think we'll take a look and see what happens. Bronson, I think, said something to either Zach Edwards or Luke Turpin on the radio. Not sure what that was about, though, but that's currently in that stint. Listen to PDJ Zeller here on the radio, currently in 5th position. I think he says that he's going to be pitting shortly in about maybe, I think it was either 5 to 10 laps, maybe 15. We'll keep following him, but we talked with him earlier. PD off to a good start, currently in 5th, just riding around near the front.
Yeah, his best race of the season so far. He's only been in the top 10 and top 5 one time. But he is looking to make a comeback here. Not his best track, he said, but hey, he is putting on quite a show here. Thanos and Chris Johnson both on pit road. Art Hendren now on pit road. Green flag stops well and truly underway here.
So while that is taking place, hearing Joe Campbell paying on in, let's focus on the leaders here closely and see when they come in. Kendrick Cryer, I don't know if he said that, if he's paying in. So we're hearing Petey's coming in this time as well. So that is 5th and 6th position. We'll keep you posted on the stops. Got to be very careful here around. Oh, PDJ Zeller hits the tire barrel into the attenuator, and that is big for him. That will lead to a lot of damage he'll have to repair. All 4 wheels are still on the car, but this is not the way you want to start the evening in terms of pit stops if you are PD.
Definitely
a caution flag is out. Big one with Chris Johnson involved, along with Derek Colson. And this brings out our first yellow of the race, and this is huge with green flag pit stops just beginning. That's going to help out the leaders here for sure.
Chris just gets loose off into turn 1 and loses the back end. Derek Colson comes along with nowhere to go and just drives through him, almost literally driving through him. But Chris Johnson hard hit into the outside wall after losing it into turn 1 and 2. We talked about how the cars really get loose here. The leaders are on pit road.
Just looking at that, Colson had absolutely nowhere to go. In fact, I think it was Jeremy Leto, and I think that is his teammate. If not, that's Ryan Soper's car. That was literally in its inside. They were 3 wide. There was nothing Colson could do about it, and that is a tough break. As you watch the leaders come on in, and I think that was Kyle Martin that overshot his box. Well, Krapser and Colson says, yeah, that was a 3 wide situation. I don't think there was anything he could do about it.
Yeah, it was really, really tough. You have a lot of drivers that are not happy at the timing of this caution. It just, a lot of guys had just been to pit road. They may end up being trapped a couple laps down. Although it will benefit PDJ Zeller. He'll have a little bit more time and lose a little bit less time on pit road getting those repairs. It's still going to have an impact, but not nearly as severe to him as it is to some of the others. As the rest of the field now coming down to pit road, and it looks like Jim Johnson, as of right now, has the lead. We'll see if he comes down. It looks like he has not been to pit road yet, so he might just be staying out to get those points.
That's what that's what he's probably doing to help the 04 number out. And now he comes on in. While we are at it, Stephen Rex also comes in, so Alex Krapser will come on in as well. This is interesting. I think he's just either trying to top off on fuel or change some tires. So this will give the lead to Austin Edwards.
Alex Krapser had already been to pit road at the same time as Austin Edwards. I'm not sure, unless he got a penalty, what he is doing back on pit road. And it looks like between the cars that had been lapped, the cars that had been to pit road, and the different circumstances playing out here, it does look like there's several different situations that are playing out here that are confusing the field and the timing and scoring just a little bit.
A lot of strategy happening. So let's recap what just happened. Chris Johnson gets the black flag. That is his first strike of the evening. 2 waves that belong to Trevor Sukup and Jeff Edgar. So there's a lot of talking about what's going on here in terms of the pit situation where drivers are supposed to be. Remember, if you are on the lead lap, you have to go low and let the lap cars go by you as they try to figure everything out, all based off of the heads-up displays. So as we take a look at our point standings coming in for the owners, the 18 car with 800 points, the 01 with 774, but no John Schwartz is in the car tonight. John Friley is in the 01 this week. 99 is in third, owned by Jeff Edgar. The 88, Kyle Bartels, fourth in points. And in fifth is the 454 of Luke Turpin. A lot of drivers having confusion on the heads-up displays, and I am not too sure if this has to do with the lack of racing from last week. Who knows?
Well, it might have something to do with that, but I think it has more to do with we saw about a third of the field had already pitted. The caution comes out, a couple of cars are caught in it, lap traffic is all over the place, and then you have pit stops under caution. And so a lot of drivers got that opportunity to pit under yellow, didn't lose as much ground, and then the scoring just decided, you know what, we're going to go a little wonky here.
Look at this, hang on. The leaders are about to approach slower lap traffic that are having major heads-up display issues, and Aaron Hillebush is pissed the hell off.
Yeah, it looks like there is a lot of confusion going on right now, but the drivers will get it sorted out. That's what race control is there for, to yell at them and get them squared away, and it looks like everybody is getting sorted out, and the leaders are now on the back bumper of the pace truck, so looks like we might get some green flag here in just a minute.
Absolutely. So we will have the green flag in just a moment. Top 10 have figured this out. 13 drivers are on the lead lap. Let's reset the field here. Austin Edwards, Kendrick Cryer, their teammates on the front row. Alex Krapser and Stephen Rex in row 2. Trevor Sukup in 5th. Albert Hugh in 6th. Jeremy Leto 7th. Jonathan Bronson 8th. Daniel Miller 9th. Kyle Martin rounds out the top 10. Edmund Jones 11th. Kyle Bartels 12th. And Blake Wynn is in the 13th position. As we get ready to come back to grain, Austin Edwards is the control car on the inside line. He gets the right to fire first. When does he do it? He does it now. We're back to green. And the front row matches on the restart. And they are teammates, so they have that advantage. The time the restart's better compared to row 2, Doug.
They definitely do, and you could see the timing there as Alex Krapser and Steven
Oh,
Rex.
boy. Edwards got loose there, wobbly in turn 4. Cryer closes in. And I think Cryer just let his teammate go. Leads to Krapser and Rex stacking up.
Yeah, a weird situation too. Luke Turpin up in this mix, but he is not on the lead lap. He is actually showing at the tail end of the lead lap after the pit stop. So interesting situation seeing Luke up there. Expect him to be back on the lead lap, either race his way back on or be back there when we get another caution, if we get another caution. Things have been green for the most part so far, so I'm expecting a lot of green flag runs here tonight.
Kyle Bartos has received the black flag for being in the wrong lane. Alex Krapser has gone by the lap car of Luke Turpin. This is very surprising to see Luke Turpin a lap down. Not sure what the issue was there.
Yeah, looking at his pit stop time, I don't believe there's anything significantly different. The time wasn't that far off. He just, actually, I'd stand corrected. He was on pit road for about 10 to 15 seconds longer than everybody else, but I can't see him losing a lap by that, with that little amount, but you never know. With all the confusion going on track, it looks like it might have bit him. However, he is still just in 13th, so another caution comes out or a great strategy and some great racing, he can still get back in this fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's also put a period on a couple of stories. First off, we talked about PDJ Zeller, how he got in that wreck when he hit that tire. That is pretty much the attenuator on pit road. He is still in the pits, currently in 36th position. Chris Johnson, who caused the last yellow, he is in 37th. And Derek Colson is out of the pits, currently in the 33rd spot. Meanwhile, Austin Edwards, Kendrick Cryer, Alex Krapser, Steven Rex, and Travis Sukup round out the top 10. Let's highlight a couple of other battles happening on track. First off, in this wad of lap cars, Kyle Martin and Jonathan Bronson in the battle for 6th. They're 3 wide in front. Oh, man. Bronson nearly pulled a flopper move trying to thread the needle on Fraley and Gratz. That got close.
Yeah, these guys are pushing it. You got lap traffic ahead while you're trying to race 2 wide, or you're trying to get by lap traffic and they're still 2 wide with you. There's just a lot going on in this group. A mix of lapped and lead lap cars, and somebody's got to give or somebody's going to end up in a wall the way these guys are racing. Right behind them is another big group, a mixed up of cars, lead lap and lap down. Things are about to get really, really dicey until these guys sort themselves out here.
Albert Hewins in the 55 also are part of that, currently in 8th position. Alex Gratz, we mentioned him. He lied earlier today. He got caused up in that traffic stack up under yellow. I don't know if that's what we should call it from now on, the traffic crapping stack ups, whatever you want to say it. He's currently in the 15th position for those wondering at home. Looking at another battle here at the moment. Let's go to the Blake Wynn, Jeremy Leto show. That is for 11th on track, and Wynn is stuck up on the outside. Looking inside is Greg Holes in 27th position, just as fast as the 99.
Yeah, Holes has been getting faster every week. I fully expect to see him up battling for top 10 positions again before too terribly much longer. There's been some great racing out of this group, so there is no telling what's going to happen before it's all said and done.
Oh, man, who was that? Daniel Miller that got way loose in 1 and 2, and they nearly went 4 wide for a moment. They're 3 wide entering 3, with Jeremy Leto stuck up in the middle of it. That's the battle for 10th, and Wynn takes advantage of that misdoing.
Wow, that was close, and this is Edmund Jones' best race so far this season. We saw it. We've seen him up in the top 15 a couple of times this season, but I don't think he's cracked the top 10 yet. Tonight could be the night. He's having a great run. He's got that EHP power under the car, that setup, and look at this. He's making a move, getting lap traffic cleared and making his way toward the front.
Let's look at the biggest movers of this race so far. First off, highlighted in 5th, Travis Sukup. He is up 29 spots, started in 34th. He is all the way up to 5th. The second biggest mover is Daniel Miller from 36th up to 12th. Up 20 spots is Albert Hewins from 28th to 8th. And then up 14 positions is James Johnson. He started in 32nd. He's up to 18. So nice races so far for those drivers.
Yeah, and let's not forget one of the drivers that was on track last week, Jeremy Leto. You know that was a big morale boost last week, regardless of the situation. He started in 24th, up to 11th now, and you know he's got to have a smile on his face. He went out there and showed he could still get it done last week, knew how to win on strategy, had some speed too late in the run, and here he is fighting his way back up. I guarantee you this is all just that morale boost. That car has had it this whole time. Leto just needed something to turn his season around.
Could you believe Jeremy Leto won a race before the faster flop of Bronson?
You know, there was so much discussion both in the comments and in the Discord. The last 5 laps of that race, everybody expecting him to run out of fuel, make a mistake. Anything could go wrong, but he held on and pulled off the win, and it was just crazy after that. Leto had a great race, and he's proven he can still get the job done with 35, 38 cars on track. He can still get it done. It doesn't matter how many cars are out there. He is having another great run here tonight.
Update you on Chris Johnson and PDJ Zeller. They are both back on track in 36th and 37th. We have Sean Andrews that is also currently in the pits. I think it is because of an internet issue at the moment. So 100 laps are complete here at Five Flags Speedway. It's Austin Edwards, Kendrick Cryer, Alex Krapser, Steven Rex, and Travis Suk up the top 5. We will step aside. Stay with us here in the XCAL Racing $5 Tuesday Series.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Howdy, partner. This here's Higgins, the XCAL super fan. Howdy, partner. This here's Higgins, the XCAL super fan. This race promises to be a doozy, so I'm getting boozy. Howdy, partner. I'm so excited for next week's event that I'm shaking. Totally different shakes. Howdy, partner. You're watching XCAL Racing.
Pit stops underway here at Five Flags Speedway. Alex Gretz, Steven Rex, and Albert Hewins are in. Rex probably the most notable one of the drivers that came into pit. And we're not hearing a lot of other drivers that are pitting. Jeremy Leto also another one that came in, and they are exiting right now on track. So this is interesting because we saw them pit 40 laps ago, and I'm not sure if they put really enough fuel in their cars. I think they were hoping for a caution flag to fly.
You got to wonder about the strategy plays here, but time will tell how it plays out because, you know, you've got guys that might be short pitting here. It might be a strategy move. You do race calculation. Oh, a little wiggle out of PDJ Zeller right behind the leaders. You do your calculations backwards from the end of the race to figure out how many laps and how much fuel you need. These guys obviously trying to calculate it here and trying to figure something out, but time will tell if these strategies play off. Obviously, we've seen some races pulled off on some very weird strategies this season as Austin Edwards continues to put cars a lap down.
That car he's putting a lap down is the 01 of John Friley. In fact, he's putting him 3 laps down as Friley scrapes the wall for just a moment. Only 8 cars are on the lead lap. Final car on the lead lap is Blake Wynn, who's just about a half a straightaway away correction there. So got a good battle happening on track. We'll go right in front of the leader. In fact, it just happened across the start-finish line. This is the Patrick Sullivan, Greg Hole show, battling for 20th, and they've got Blake Wynn between them.
Yeah, there is a lot of fast cars that just due to the circumstances are a lap down right now, but man, they are all really going at it, and they are trying to make moves every single lap. We'll see how it plays out, but yeah, Greg Holes, Pat Sullivan, yeah, these guys are definitely still in the fight and could easily get back to the lead lap as well. So no telling what happens here later in the race, but these guys are running lap times close to or equal to what the leaders are running right now.
Daniel Miller is in the pits. Same with Travis Stukup. Another good battle happening with Kyle Bartos and Jeremy Lutto. Lutto's faded back a lot, obviously, because he came in. He's currently out there in 23rd position, but as of right now, he's got some of the freshest tires of the bunch. How do you think that could work out for Mr. Lutto?
You know, he was already really fast, already picking up positions. I have a sneaking suspicion that this strategy move may pay off later in the race. And, you know, he pulled some strange strategy last week, and it really worked. I think Leto probably has a few tricks up his sleeve, and he knows he's fast again. So you never know what could happen here.
Yeah, who knows what could happen. Let's go to another battle behind them. Ryan Seams and Steven Rex in a battle for 24th position on the track. Also, Rex also pitting earlier. Seams last pitted on lap 65.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see some of these guys stay out just a little bit longer, but about lap 130 to 140, we'll see the vast majority of the drivers hit pit road. That's when things will play out, and we'll start to get kind of an idea. That'll be right around the halfway point, so we'll really start to get an idea of who can make it on one more stop after that, who's going to need to, what the situation is, and we'll have to go from there. But it'll be interesting. You know, just before halfway, drop in the comments and let us know who your prediction is. Looks like we may have lost Marty. Oh, there's Marty.
I'm still here. I'm sorry. I had to go on. I heard something random from Aaron Hillebush, and I can't say it on the air. I don't know where the heck this came from, but if I said it, it would make this broadcast rated R, so I'm not going to say it. So, but it may make the radioactive. Who knows? Good battle happening on the back chute. Mason Foster, Nicholas Seams in a battle for 15th on the track, and Foster makes that pass look easy. He's got 5 laps of fresher tires compared to the 960 on track. And Greg Holtz takes advantage of it too as Seams continues to fade.
You know, Matt Bear is not in the 420 car tonight, but Chris Johnson is, and Matt just dropped in and said, Matt just dropped in and said Chris Johnson is going to make up 20 laps and win this thing. I think the 420 car might be filled up with 420, just saying.
Bing bong! Kendrick Cryer has also said that he's going to pit this time and from 3rd position, so we'll watch his entry. Ooh, almost had a mess up there at bobble there in the entry of turn number 3. Pit road speed is at 40, just about 40 miles an hour. We're hearing Edmund Jones also pitting, so green flag pit stops underway. Let's go from a shot here from our aerial cam as you watch your race leader Austin Edwards with a 2nd lead. Our Bloom Cam tonight brought to you by XCAL Racing. While we're at, let's know who you're rooting for. We have got Cortland Herman saying that this track is a fun, fast, racy, and tedious track. He's wondering how many green flag laps they have done. Well, I will tell you this, though. We have only had one caution in this race, and that took about maybe 10 laps or so. So that's pretty much all I'm going to say on that. Matt Bear says, seriously, though, Austin's race to lose. Jason Rayom is saying, I'm protesting this race from the protest of last race. No go Topher.
There's a running joke, and there will be a week in the very near future. I have to talk to Aaron about this too, but since Jason drops in and cheers on Topher in every race, although Topher is very rarely in one of my broadcasts, I'm going to get Topher to run every single race one week with every single league I broadcast, just so Jason can have somebody to cheer for.
Yeah, I'd do it. That'd definitely be pretty cool. It's definitely worth it. Edmund Jones says he is pitting out, so I think right now at the moment the top 15 have yet to pit, and Austin Edwards has signaled on Will PD that he is coming on in to pit. So we will take an opportunity to watch his stop here, as he has put 131 laps in the book. So he'll come on in, and oh man, almost went in way too hot.
He is really. We've seen a lot of drivers under these green flag stops really push it in there. It's obviously bit a few racers, but yeah, it's a bit dicey here.
So Austin Edwards comes in for 4 tires and fuel. So this gives Alex Crafts to the lead with a big lead on Kyle Martin, just nearly 10 seconds at the moment. We'll check and see where Edwards cycles through. He'll be the first guy on 4 tires. The second guy is Kendrick Cryer in the number 48 machine, who pitted on lap 126. So we will check here closely and see where he cycles through. Remember the big gaps here, big time. It takes about, I want to say, maybe 4 laps or so that you lose time. I should say, correction, maybe 3 laps on pit road, because a lap here is just about 20 seconds. You're pitting for about 45 seconds, and then you got to add probably about maybe 15 seconds more or so for the pit in and pit out.
Yeah, it's been about 3 to 3.5 laps from what I've seen on average. Just depends on how long your pit stop takes. And
trouble off of turn 2, by the way. We just missed it, but James Johnson had a big off-track moment. If you go back here, Doug,
look at this.
Yeah.
All right, Jim, down to the ball. The back end just comes around on him. We talk about this track being loose, and he was really close to saving it, but once it's gone, it's really tough to get that car straightened back out. Jim Johnson going to get some more Dunkin' Donuts coffee and get himself going again. Actually, he only drinks energy drinks. I forgot. He just delivers the Dunkin'. He doesn't drink it.
Well, America doesn't always run on Dunkin', just saying. I run on Tim Hortons, so. Anyway, Johnson currently in 29th after his spin. Been a rough night for him so far. Jonathan Bronson, Patrick Sullivan all coming in. Kyle Martin says he is pitting, still waiting for Alex Crapser to pull in. I think Crapser is pulling that Luke Turpin playbook out of his strategy right now, you think?
Could very well be. I think there's several different strategies. I think some of these guys might have changed. I heard some talk throughout the week about gear changes, and the smallest gear changes at this track, because of the downhill, they were making up a lot of extra laps on fuel. Remember last season, I think it was Jose Godino that almost pulled an extremely long run and went further than anybody else coming down to the last part of the race, and that has that downhill stretch as well, just because he was able to save so much fuel. So I think we're seeing a lot of different strategies here.
Absolutely. Even though we are in green flag pit stop mode, let's take this opportunity to look at a full field rundown at the moment with 37 cars currently racing. Alex Crapser, the race leader. Blake Wynn is second. Luke Turpin third. Jeff Edgar fourth. Joe Campbell 5th, Robert Colgan in 6th, Mason Foster 7th, Austin Edwards 8th, Greg Holes 9th, Kendrick Cryer 10th, John Friley is 11th, Nicholas Seams 12th, Stephen Rex 13th, Jeremy Leto actually move up, same with Travis Sukup, Alex Gratz, Kyle Martin 17th, Jonathan Bronson 18th, Albert Ewins 19th, and Edmund Jones is 20th. Doug?
As Seams is going to pit road, Matt Pelletier has 21st, Zach Edwards 22nd, Daniel Miller now to 23rd, Jorge Bustos in 24th, Jim Johnson has some power going again, he is in 25th. Jose Godino currently in 26th, Ryan Seams on his way off pit road for he's going to drop back to 29th with Kyle Bartles getting past for 27th, Stephen Wedden 28th. Now Ryan Seams pulls out into 29th. Gerald Thanos Poole in 30th. And hey, he's got a new paint scheme tonight. Paz Sullivan in 31st. Rodney German in 22nd. Derek Olson 23rd. Art Endren currently in 34th. Chris Johnson back in 35th. But Matt Bear has said that car is going to make up all its laps and win. PDJ Zeller in 36th. Sean Andrews off track in 37th.
Alex Krapser currently in pit road, waiting for him to come out, and there he goes. See where he cycles through. I think this will put him back into the second, if not third position. Cryer goes by. You just saw it there on your screen. Kendrick Cryer goes up into sixth position at the moment as we still wait for the top 5 drivers on track. Luke Turpin will make his way on into pit road, and Jeff Edgar is about to come on in as well.
Yeah, Jeff Edgar, it looks like he is getting about the same mileage as Luke Turpin, and if you can say nothing else in life, getting the same mileage as Jeff Edgar, or as Luke Turpin rather, is a pretty impressive thing. Plus, he was able to hang close to Luke Turpin while getting that fuel mileage. You got to be proud of that.
Absolutely. So Austin Edwards will have the provisional lead by 4 seconds on Alex Krapser, with Turpin and Edgar pinning on in. Austin Edwards takes the race lead here at 5 Flags as Krapser and Cryer go to second and third respectively. And we watch that battle on track. About a car length and a half separate them.
Yep, Cryer is staying right there. They've got Jim Johnson a lap down right behind him. Stephen Rex 7 seconds back in fourth. Jeremy Leto in fifth place. Go get him, Leto. Golly, he is having an epic week and a half so far, and it looks like if he can just hold on to this top 5, can you imagine? After last week's race, if I'm not mistaken, he actually ended up where he will get a points provisional if he doesn't qualify. If he finishes 5th tonight, there is no telling how much further up this season. Could this be the rebirth of Jeremy Leto and his racing career?
I think right now it already is a rebirth for the number 84. That number that he's been driving came in 11th in the point standings and is always a guaranteed entry unless it gets outside of the top 15. So a great run for Leto, and he should not be disappointed at all. We have completed 151 laps. We are just past the halfway point here at 5 Flags Speedway as Austin Edwards leads Alex Krapser, Kendrick Cryer, Stephen Rex, and Jeremy Leto. Stay with us here with the XCAL Street Stocks.
Howdy, partner. This here's Higgins, the XCAL Super. Howdy, partner. This here's Higgins, the XCAL Super. Woo! This race promises to be a doozy, so I'm getting boozy. Woo! Howdy, partner. I'm so excited for next week's event that I'm shaking. Totally different shakes. Howdy, partner. You're watching XCAL Racing. Woo!
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt kicker. The future is feeling.
We are working lap number 160 of the XCAL Racing Web Shop 275 from Five Flag Speedway. Murray Scala alongside Doug Burns with you. Austin Edwards has pretty much dominated this race. He has led the most laps in this showing today. Only one caution in this race. That happened just around lap 65 or lap number 68 in the lap 65-70 range when we had Chris Johnson spin out. Also collecting Derek Colson with nowhere to go. 7 drivers are on the lead lap, and let's give a shout out to the driver. That's the final car on the lead lap. That's Travis Sukup in the number 45, up 27 positions. He started in the 34th position, and he has made his way up to 7th. So nice job seeing out of that from the Dropping Bombs number 45 machine. Good battle here on track for 5th position. Kyle Martin and Alex Gratz. The 17 is definitely recovered after going a lap down earlier, getting trapped up there due to yellows and some guys, being stupid. I don't know. And speaking of that, as I say that, Alex Gratz makes his way into pit road as we are seeing green flag stops here continue here at the Five Flag Speedway. No really big battles on track, but we can go to the battle for 24th. Between Leto and Godino. Yeah, go ahead.
There's about to be, as Austin Edwards, look at where Austin is. Look at where his teammate in 5th place, Kyle Martin, is. They are less than a straightaway apart right now. This is going to get interesting as it looks like Austin Edwards has only 5 cars on the lead lap, and Austin is running down his own teammate. Now the question becomes, does Kyle fight him or let him by? And what does Austin do? And how many cars can Austin lap in a single race?
In the words of Aaron Rodgers, that is a good question that I honestly don't have the answer to. We'll figure that out when time comes. We've got 109 laps to go. Meanwhile, here at the Five Flag Speedway, while we're at it, we can tell you about what's coming up next week here on How to Suck at iRacing for XCAL. And guess what? We are going plate racing once again. We're going to the Texas Motor Speedway. Do not miss out on that. That is a fun one always. I love the super speedways and XCAL racing. It's not just because whenever I drive in them, I'm very good at them. I know the strategy. But they're probably the most exciting to watch. If you watched our season opener at Charlotte, that's pretty much what Texas is going to be like.
Hey, Marty. Hey, Marty. Remember Texas last year when you were racing there?
Yes, I hated it.
It is worth noting for the viewers that there at Texas Motor Speedway, when you're going around turns 3 and 4 to pit road, there's a couple of spots where the wall sticks out. Marty was not paying enough attention.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, you're talking about that. I thought you were talking about at Texas when I kept getting disconnected due to because that was the day we had the new damage model. Yeah, and it kept taking people out of the sessions. We had to have an iRacing caution.
that was good, but I was thinking back to you hitting the inside wall barrier thing sticking out, and yeah, that is one I don't think you'll ever live down. I actually have a Post-it note on my desk about it. Because I
need to try and find the replay. Somebody needs to send me that video of what happened.
I bet it would be easily found. I bet if you check the YouTube channel, you could probably find it.
You'll have to find it for me because I'll be busy prepping for next week. Keep in mind as well for next week, changes as well compared to the short tracks stuff. The setup for Texas is obviously a fixed setup, and the restarts go on the green flag, not on the leader. And hopefully we have less controversy compared to what we are seeing when it comes to racing under caution.
And while we're at it, let's hit that blimp cam one more time so we can point out, we talked about it in pre-race, the limited light. You can see from the blimp, sponsored by XCAL, that, yeah, there's not a lot of light, especially in the turns. There's some lights in the infield, but they do not cover enough, but except for the front straightaway, the middle of the back straightaway, and then it's just kind of here and there. It makes it very, very, very tricky to drive here. And, you know, it's when there's this many cars on the track, there's this little light, it just speaks to the skill of these drivers that they have managed to keep these cars out of trouble here tonight.
And this is pretty much the reason why the Snowball Derby is held at day and not under the lights. Of course, Five Flags Speedway is the home of the Snowball Derby, aka I believe that's the track that Chandler Smith won the Snowball Derby at last season. Anyway, only 3 big incidents we have seen today. We talked about what happened with the yellow with Chris Johnson, but let's talk about 2 other incidents that happened earlier. PDJ Zeller in our first round of green flag pit stops hit the attenuator, hit the tire that gave him heavy front end damage, which pretty much ended his chances of a top 10 finish, and it looked really good. Another incident we had probably about maybe, I want to say 20 minutes ago, is when Jim Johnson went around in turn number 2. It was in the grass though, so no need for a yellow flag to come out. Let's go to a battle happening for 12th position. Matt Pelletier and Zach Edwards. Pelletier in the 27 and Zach Edwards in the 6. That is right behind second place Alex Krapser. Let's see how this goes down. There was nearly a bumper.
Yeah, these guys were past halfway. They're going to have, most of them are going to be able to make it with one more stop here. I mean, you're talking about a lot of drivers who pitted on lap 140 to 140, or 150 rather. And a lot of these guys have one more stop to make, so it's time to crank it up to 11 and start making their way forward. They got less than 100 laps to go. There's going to be some rough driving starting, and especially at this track, once you start getting a little bit rough, things start getting a little bit crazy. And good evening, Vicky and Jeff Johnson.
Albert Hurons just made his way into pit road along with Steven Rex, so we are seeing our second round of green flag pit stops in the stint at the moment for Austin Edwards. He is currently on a 50-lap stint, so it won't be too long until we see him make his way down pit road.
No, it really won't, but you know, Austin has probably figured out this strategy down to the half lap. He could probably, we've seen this a couple of times, and I've heard guys that really push the fuel limit at this track and at North Wilkesboro. But North Wilkesboro, you hit pit road going downhill. Here you hit it going uphill, and you have to make that little turn at the start of pit road. You cannot push it as far, but I guarantee you guys like Austin Edwards and Luke Turpin, they're going to push it to their absolute limit. Worth noting, all that is Jeremy Leto, that Austin is coming around right now. Leto, after pit stops, back into 21st. What do you want to bet? Leto's earlier strategy with the short pit has him set up where if this thing stays green, he ends up in the top 5 at the end of the race.
I think it could definitely work for sure. We got another good battle happening here for 17th. James Johnson, after the spin he had earlier, is up to 17th position. And he's trying to defend on Holes. Holes looked to the inside about a lap ago, but it did not work. And right there in front of them, Blake Wynn in 7th got loose. That got close.
Yeah, the longer these guys are out, we've seen it the whole race, the looser the car gets, especially normally it's on corner exit where we start to see the cars getting loose, but the longer they're out there, the longer they're running, these guys are getting loose off, or going into the turn rather than off the turn, and it's causing some big issues for a few of these drivers. And now we have cars coming back up off pit road. Stephen Wetton left pit lane, and that makes things a bit interesting as well when cars are coming up off pit road. Travis Sukup is on pit road now.
Is that Cryer? Cryer in 3rd. Just got extremely tight in 3rd and 3 and 4. Losing a ton of time at the moment. That nearly got dangerous for the driver of the 48. And Jeff Edgar, I think, just said something on the radio just saying let him go by, and that is the situation. Cryer has not pitted since lap 126, and we expect him shortly.
Holy cow, that makes Cryer's run, I do believe, the longest run we have seen tonight. right at 65 laps. Yeah, something like that. 65 laps on that set of tires and on that fuel, more importantly. So you know he is trying to make this one more stop here tonight, despite pitting 20 laps earlier than the rest of the field here.
Taking a look here throughout the field, perhaps the driver that is not really running the best at the moment in terms of lap time would be Edmund Jones with an 18.85. Looking at drivers that are faster on track, I think Edwards currently, without question, is the fastest guy, so to speak. Alex Gretz not happy at the 04 because there was a 3-wide situation. That got close.
And we've got a car blinking right in front of the leader.
And I think, is that Colgan? Nope, that's not Colgan.
I'm trying to see who the heck that was right in front of Austin Edwards, and it looked like it might have been one of his. It is. It's the 25. That's Kyle Martin.
Martin has been having issues a lot throughout the night.
Oh, Martin just completely disappears as
right
Austin
in front of
gets
the leader.
the nose in. Austin
Remember,
actually had to back out.
They are teammates, so I think they're communicating through Discord saying, hey, just let me go by. It is not even worth it. And the message was just received. Edwards to the inside. That puts Martin a lap down, only leaving 3 drivers on the lead lap.
You know what it's worth noting, too? Austin Edwards is 13.2 seconds ahead of Kendrick Cryer in third on a 17 or an 18-second lap. Could Austin Edwards, if this thing stays green, lap Kendrick Cryer? And does he have enough time to get up there and lap Alex Crapsher? Could this be the first time in XCAL history that only the leader finishes on the lead lap?
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen. It could get crazy here. One thing to report you on here, Sean Andrews is out of the race. He's been having a lot of internet issues, so he is out of the race. We'll see if he returns to the track. I don't think he will with the major issues he's been having. Let's go back to the Holes and Gretz show. That is currently for 13th at the moment.
These two are really going at it here. Gretz down to the bottom. Joe Campbell quite a ways in front of him, so they've got a little bit of room to play with here, but still a lot of traffic out there. Alex Greats now to the front, down to 13th. Greg Holes back to 14th, and they've got a gap, but they keep going back and forth up here. This could get interesting later in the race. You know, there's been a little bit of leaning on each other.
Hopefully we'll see what happens. 200 laps are in the books, 75 laps to go. We'll step aside, go side by side once again as green flag pit stops continue to take place here in Pensacola.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Howdy, partner. This here's Higgins, the XCAL Super Fan. Howdy, partner. This here's Higgins, the XCAL Super Fan. This race promises to be a doozy, so I'm
Leader is in pit road, just entering 40 miles an hour. We'll watch his stop as Alex Krapser is taking the race lead.
Yeah, and it's been an interesting night. It seems like, at least what we're seeing tonight, the J&S team has really, really stepped up after the week off they've had. They came in like a hurricane into this season, and they are stepping it up yet again. I'd be worried about the brakes in this season if I were the rest of these teams, because J&S is really coming out and putting on a show right after a break. But Edwards High Performance, J&S, they have been in the battle for the top spot all night long. They're in the top spots in the points battles. This is going to be an interesting season as both of these teams continue to be just increasingly fast.
Absolutely, and I'm just thinking about this right now at the moment, especially with Austin Edwards currently. If we stay green the rest of the way, he'll have to make one more stop with, I want to say, just about 7 or 6 laps to go. So now that brings up another question, is Edwards cycles through right now as the provisional leader. The question is going to be, who has enough fuel to go the entire way? Can anyone go the entire way? I think right now, if you're in the range of lap 210 to 215, I think you can make it the entire way. And there's one guy I'm thinking of that could have that advantage, and that's Alex Krapser in the 29.
Yeah, he's been out there for a while, and he'll be coming to pit road soon. But you know what? We're seeing 60 and 70 lap runs easily out of these drivers. I think anybody that pitted after about lap 205 knows they can go the distance. Krapser is on pit road. I think anybody that pitted after lap 205, they waited till that lap so they could go the distance. We've seen more than one driver make it 70. Some have made it 80-plus laps.
So Krapser is in for what is likely his final stop of the evening. Austin Edwards pitted on lap 208, so I would assume if you're saying up to 70 laps, then he should be good as well. Jonathan Bronson, Kyle Martin, they should be good as well. Already mentioned Edwards. Edmund Jones, I think it's going to be close. Same with Zach Edwards. I'm just looking at the notables. Kyle Bartels, I think, should be good as well. So, a lot of situations that could play a factor.
And look at the driver in the lead.
Yep.
You know that guy could probably pit right now, take a splash of gas and go the distance. And he's been out there since lap, 147?
147, yeah.
So he could probably pit right now, take like a gallon and go the distance. That's just Luke Turpin for you.
And he's going to come in this time by, but the big thing he's got to be careful of is he's got a huge pack with him. That is the 61 machine of Bustos behind him. And Turpin's just giving the signal, hey guys, I'm pitting on in. This is going to get interesting with Jeff Edgar and company. And Foster backs off, luckily, to prevent anything scary from happening there. So Luke Turpin comes in to pit, and so Austin Edwards will get the lead in about a lap from now. And he's got about 2.3 second lead on Alex Krapser at the moment. What a race this has been so far for Austin Edwards and the Edwards High Performance team.
Yeah, and I think once this cycles around and everybody completes pit stops, just looking at those who still have to pit, Alex Great still has to pit. Looks like Steven Rex has to pit. Turpin being on pit road. I think we're going to be back to like 2 or 3 cars on the lead lap.
Oh, right in front of Edwards. That was German that got loose. Oh my goodness. Cold brow moment for the leader.
Oh my God. And you just know Austin sitting there like, I need this to go green. I need this to, holy crap.
Yeah, this is a huge mess. Kendrick Cryer, Ronnie Hermanen is still loose. He is a bomb waiting to go off at the moment. Yes, I know that is my car, but still, I think that's the situation at the moment. He last pitted on lap 191, so he's still up, and Cryer getting loose. Oh my, this could be an accident central at the moment, and Alex Krapser is starting to become a part of this pack.
Yeah, things are about to get really, really heated out here as these guys, you've got some guys out here on their final set of tires. They've got to make something happen. And these guys are battling out. Even if they're not on the lead lap, they're still battling for position. So, hey, they've got to send it. And
right there, Johnson turned Colgan right in front of it. And is that going to bring a yellow out? I don't think so.
Let's take a look at what happened to Chris Johnson. Let's see here. As they go down, looks like Chris came down. I'm going to have to take another angle. I think that might have been netcode.
I don't know. There was contact from Colson. Remember, the two got into it earlier on, but that was in the aftermath of a yellow flag. I'm taking a look here at the drone shot.
That was not netcode.
That was contact.
But that looked innocent. I don't think that was a revenge play yet. I'm not going to say for sure.
Nah, the only way that was intentional. Knowing Colson, that was not on earth intentional at all. That cost Crapser a bunch of time, though, and he is still right behind Derek Colson. Trouble. Jose Gaudino in the 20 car, we believe, has crashed as well. And let's take a look here and see if he did. Yes, he did. This was in turn number 3.
He was really close to that inside wall. And Joe Campbell right on the back bumper. They go down.
Got him.
Yeah, just a little love tap from Joe Campbell. He goes around. Joe just could not. I think he wasn't expecting Gaudino to check up as early as he did. Gaudino has been, I noticed earlier in the race, he checks up a little early and gets one heck of a run off the corner. And I think this is the first time Joe's been right on his bumper, and it was just, fire and ice.
Absolutely. So, we've got under 50 laps to go here. Let's give you a full field rundown. It is Austin Edwards that is leading. Alex Crapser second. Alex Gratz is third. Steven Rex fourth. Kendrick Cryer fifth. Jeremy Leto is 6th, Kyle Martin 7th, Jonathan Bronson 8th, Zach Edwards 9th, Luke Turpin 10th, Blake Wynn 11th, Travis Sukup 12th, Rob Colgan 13th, Albert Hewins 14th, Edmund Jones is 15th, Jorge Bustos is 16th, Mason Foster 17th, Jeff Edgar 18th, Daniel Miller 19th, and Matt Pelletier is 20th. Doug?
Oh, gotta unmute myself. Back in 21st is going to be Joe Campbell. We just saw him a moment ago having to check up. Greg Holes in 22nd. Jim Johnson having a decent recovery into 23rd. 24th is Kyle Bartles. Nicholas Seams currently running in 25th. Ryan Seams in 26th. Stephen Wetton gives up 27th to go to pit road, so Friley now to 27th. Gerald Poole will be in 28th. Derek Colson 29th, and 30th will be Jose Gaudino. Rodney German in 31st, Pat Sullivan 32nd, Art Hendren will be 33rd, PJ Zeller 34th, Chris Johnson will be 35th, Sean Andrews is out of the race.
Let's take a look at some pit situations here at the moment. We believe the top 2 are good on fuel. The driver in 3rd place, Steven Rex, last pit on lap 181. Doug, he will have to come in soon.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of guys get up there in the numbers. They just by stretching it out. Steven Rex, I just don't see him doing, what would that be? 90 laps, 94 laps, something like that?
No way on earth that's going to work.
No way. Unless he is just clutching down the hill and then getting on it in turn 3, there is just no earthly way that guy is making it to the end. But you never know. Anything could happen here late in the race. So another one that's last pitted lap 187 was Travis Sukup, who is currently in 10th after starting in 34th. You know that dude's praying for a caution here.
Something else we should mention as well, we've been talking about him a lot, who was running inside the top 5 to top 10, but currently in 22nd spot is Jeremy Leto. He just had to pit on lap 215. And it doesn't seem like he was able to go the entire distance after what was going on with the field earlier. Remember, his strategy was trying to short pit too.
I'm doing some quick math here. He's going to pick up at least base. Steven Rex comes to pit road.
Yep.
I'm willing to bet Leto gets inside the top 15 tonight. based on the cars that are still out there that have not pitted in front of him, I think he'll get up without even driving past anybody, just based on pit stops alone that still have to be done. I think you'll see Leto get up to about round 15. Still a respectable finish after a win at Bristol last week, and still quite a comeback for that team.
Good battle happening on track for 15th position. Give credit here to Jeff Edgar. Looking for a good finish here in this number 7 machine. And I think, did I just hear what I thought I heard? I'm going to have to go back here and take a listen. But currently working lap 240, Austin Edwards is the race leader. And we will step aside. When we come back, we are taking you right to the finish. Stay with us here at Five Flag Speedway.
Howdy, partner. This here's Higgins, the XCAL super fan. Howdy, partner. This here's Higgins, the XCAL super fan. This race promises to be a doozy, so I'm getting boozy. Howdy, partner. I'm so excited for next week's event that I'm shaking. Totally different shakes. Howdy, partner. You're watching XCAL Racing.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
We are back here with just about 30 laps to go here. We have been so glad you could join us throughout the night here on How to Suck at iRacing for the XCAL Racing $5 Tuesday Series, the XCAL Racing Web Shop 275. Don't forget, next week we are at the Texas Motor Speedway, so don't miss out on that. Some awesome plate racing here for XCAL Racing coming up next week. We've been watching the Zach Evers, Jonathan Bronson. What you missed, by the way, while we were side by side, there was 3 wide happening between Alex Gratz and Daniel Miller. Miller was up on the outside and came down on the 17. They got up in the wall. Gratz running in the 15th position. And if you look closely at that right door, there is some damage to that EHP machine.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's too terribly bad. I think he'll be okay, but man, that was a rough end of the night. Daniel Miller being one of his teammates, I do believe. So definitely not what Austin Edwards wanted to see out of his team tonight. But regardless, they have had had quite a battle going on as more and more cars are hitting pit road now. And you know who is benefiting from this right now?
Some guy in the number 84.
Some guy in the number 84. And I called it. I guarantee you he finishes 15th or better, and he continues his march toward the front. I think we have seen the rebirth of Jeremy Leto here.
Let's see what happens. We got 25 laps to go, and it's Austin Edwards that continues to lead up 2 seconds on Alex Krapser. They'll pretty much be the only ones battling for this win, even regardless if we do get one more caution, because if you get one more caution, you'll be able to get Cryer, Martin, and Zach Edwards back on the lead lap. The thing with them, though, is they'd restart at the rear because they got the waves. Now, if there are 2 more cautions, they get themselves back up to the front. So keep that in mind if something does happen. the Foster-Edgar battle. Let's watch that for 14th on track, Doug.
You know, it is worth mentioning, too, as a reminder to our newer fans that, hey, at 10 laps to go, if a caution comes out, there will be no wave rounds. At 5 laps to go, there will be no cautions. So, yeah, we are getting down to the wire here, and this has been an epic, epic race as Foster and Edgar continue to go at it. These two have been at it all night. It has been back and forth.
This has pretty much been a race of strategy and endurance throughout the night. Again, one caution that happened back on lap number 66. It's been enough time for Aaron Hellebusch to calm his voice the hell down. So we'll see what happens. Jeff Edgar and Mason Foster, by the way, in this battle, they are saying some words to each other. So keep that in mind. Watch that closely. And they're side by side in 4.
Oh, and Mason's trying to keep him pinched down, and Jeff is trying to push him up. But I have to give a call out here because we've seen one driver who has not been inside the top 10 all season, looking like he's going to pull it off here tonight. And a good friend of mine, Edmund Jones, currently running in 9th. He's finally cracked the top 10, hoping he gets that done. Zach Edwards and Travis Sukup on pit road.
By the way, Foster got the wall last time through the front straightaway. This is a good battle to watch in the final laps of this one. Couple of drivers, like you said, are in pit road. Sukup, Hewins, and Zach Edwards. And once again, that helps out Jeremy Lutto looking for a top 15 finish. I think he'll get up there by the end of the evening. Edgar looking for the spot. Can he clear Foster into 3? Still at the quarter panel. A bad corner from Foster, and Edgar takes away the position.
Did Foster get the wall there coming off 4? It looked
He did not. It came close, though.
It was really close, and now Foster has to worry about Zach Edwards coming off pit road behind him. I think Zach probably got right sides only, but we'll have to see. And obviously, Mason, a lot of damage from beating and banging with Jeff Edgar. We'll see how this plays out, but
yeah, how it does with the tires, that's a good question. Because Edwards is 2 seconds behind Edgar and Foster, and he's got 2 fresh right sides.
Yeah, and you have to know he's going to run him down a little bit. The question is, can he get to him and can he pass him in 14 laps? And here in a few laps, we're going to have no more wave rounds. This has been a bit crazy. There's been multiple strategies here tonight. There's only been the one major incident, and this race has been nothing but side by side, nose to tail, a lot of guys leaning on each other. But you know what? We've also seen, despite that, like with Mason Foster and Jeff Edgar, yeah, they're leaning on each other, they're cussing each other on the radio, but they're driving still fairly respectfully. Everybody has been giving and taking more than you would expect on a track this size.
Foster putting Blake Wynn another lap down, and Edwards is in a flurry of traffic in front of him. He's got Leto, he's got Holes. I think he's got Hewins also in front of him too, and I think Steven Rex. So this is going to be interesting. He's coming to 10 laps to go, and now when you get into those single digits category, Doug, and every driver knows this, once you hit the single laps or the single minutes, that's when you start to get a little bit more aggressive. If you're battling for a position, you are driving in harder and harder. Doesn't even matter if you cause a caution right now or not.
No, and they know at 5 laps to go, no matter what they do, it'll be post-race reviewed, but there won't be a caution, and this could become a really interesting race. Hey, good evening, Jeremy. This could come down to the wire with some of these battles, but I have to shout out again, Leto's already to 15th. So
absolutely,
he's going to fight Austin, I guarantee it.
Absolutely. And so pretty much as we are under 10 laps to go, this pretty much seals the deal between Austin Edwards and Alex Krapser. They will be the ones battling for the win. The gap is down to 1.8 seconds, but with the lap times they are showing, it's not going to be enough for sure unless there is a big mistake for Austin Edwards. 7 laps to go here at 5 Flags.
Have we ever seen Edwards make a big mistake? I can't recall any.
No.
He is just too consistent and too smooth. So Austin Edwards might get his second win of the season here at 5 Flags. All he has to worry about is that car getting loose right in front of him. Holy cow.
That's Sullivan. That is Sullivan in the number 16, who is currently running in 29th, and I think Edwards go by. He did scrape the wall. That got a little bit too close this time by. Aaron Hillebush will say green, 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 5 to go. We have got no more cautions in this race. Okay, good. He's still up. I thought for a moment that Hillebush fell asleep with this over 200 lap long stint that will end with about a 209 straight laps of green flag racing. That's incredible.
Last week we saw our first green to checkers. This week only one caution all week. Crapser is losing time to the leader. Austin Edwards has a bit of clear track ahead. I think he's going to be safe to make it to the end. He even has the leeway to back up off of it if needed. I think I just saw Mason Foster on pit road.
Foster is in the pits. He did not have enough to go the distance. And he overshoots his pit box. That's even worse. He'll have to do splash and dash. Coming to the line for Austin Edwards, 2 to green.
Jeremy Leto's now to 14th, by the way. Leto is having a good couple of races. I'm looking forward to seeing how he does the remainder of the season. After seeing his performance the last 2 weeks, I think Leto's got something for him.
White flag in the air. Final time around 5 Flag Speedway for Austin Edwards and the Edwards High Performance. Number 18, the cell phone team, along with a couple of other drivers, makes his own setups, and they are always incredible and shows you why he's one of the best in street stocks. Final corner, Austin Edwards, win number 2 this season, and it comes in Pensacola. He'll drift it to celebrate it while Alex Crapser comes across the line in second. And now we wait for Kendrick Cryer to finish in P3. But Edwards does some more donuts, and he is celebrating another one.
You know, on Monday nights, Edwards drives the cone car for the Jones BS Racing League, and he is always drifting that car. I think he might end up being a drift champion and an XCAL champion at some point. But shout out to a couple of drivers. You got to give it to Edmund Jones, his first top 10 of the season. Comes home in 8th place. Alex Grates comes home 10th. Joe Campbell 13th. And Jeremy Leto in 14th. What about Jim Johnson's recovery up into 16th? What a night for some of these drivers. Really, really having some great comebacks here tonight.
It's absolutely great to see. So stand by here as we will talk with your winners here in just a moment. But overall, Doug, what a great race we saw, long distance. I think Hillebush was probably the most excited I've ever seen.
Yeah, I know everybody's got to be happy with this. The unplanned week off last week has definitely benefited. A lot of drivers have cooled off. They're all working together. I think the incident that brought about the race last week with only 3 cars, I really think that brought the drivers and the owners together and united them, and I think we're going to see a great season. I think we're going to see more races like this.
Absolutely. A lot of drivers are very happy after that. So let's start here by talking with our 3rd place finish, that being Kendrick Cryer. Kendrick, first off, I'll give the entire field a lot of credit for only having 1 caution in that race. But first off, just walk us through your race. It's a great finish for you. You started 8th and finished 3rd.
Saving fuel. That's all I gotta say. I saved so much them last two pit sequences because I knew I wasn't gonna make it, and I just saved like crazy. I was turning like 18.7s, and I was way off, but if I didn't have the problem, I would have been probably up there with the leaders. But it was a fun race. That was actually it was fun time.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to tonight?
Chris Johnson, team owner. Austin Edwards, good job with him, teammate. Like to thank Jacoby Waterproofing, Brewster's Lanes, Logan's Heroes, Thirsty Beaver. Who else is there? Zolik, Home Repairs. I forget everyone else, but thank you, everyone.
Hey, Kendrick, it's Doug. I just got one question for you. Are you going to start magically appearing where I have to interview you on a nightly basis now? Or, I mean, because you're starting to pick it up everywhere you go.
Yeah, I'm starting to just be more patient with these races. I mean, XCAL, really, if you race for a while, you really start to realize you don't need the best setup, you need the fuel. So I kind of made that work, and here we go, top 3.
Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you.
Kendrick Cryer finishing in the 3rd position tonight. Let's go to our 2nd place finisher. We'll let Doug take this one, and it is Alex Krapser. Doug?
Hey, Alex, first off, congratulations, man. And I have to wonder if there hadn't been as much lap traffic, or what could have been different to get you up there and give you a shot at Austin tonight.
I don't know. At the end, it seemed like it was lap traffic a little bit, but I just wasn't as good as Austin all night on the long run. It seemed like maybe 40 laps into a run. I know I started off with a little bit fresh or a little bit more fuel, so I ended up with a little bit fresher tires. It just seemed like we equalized too early, and I couldn't really get to him, whether it was traffic or not.
Well, you still had an epic run tonight. Your lap times got very, very close to his most of the night. In fact, your fastest lap only a few hundredths off of his. So obviously you guys are picking up speed. Obviously the JNS teams have really, really come together, and I know those teams have really improved. Do you guys expect to be in victory lane more as the season goes on?
Yeah, we definitely expect to be in victory lane with kind of the group of guys we put together. Zach Edwards is really good. Joe's extremely good on the super speedways, and he's getting a lot better on the short tracks. Petey, obviously, he was going to run top 5 tonight had he not had some bad luck in the early going. So, yeah, we kind of expect to win. This week it was kind of everyone ran the setup that worked for them. Me and Petey kind of worked on a setup in the preseason here, and then Zach also had a setup that was really good that a lot of guys ran. So it's kind of just like a lot of talking and working together to try and get better.
Well, it's definitely paying off. JNS has really stepped it up this season. Any team or sponsors you'd like to thank tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank everyone at JNS. Joe, Danny, Justin. We kind of got a little bit of a conglomerate over there, just a lot of cars right now. And I think once we get used to all being together, it'll help a little bit. Definitely got to thank my sponsor, Tennifer Gin, and everyone else on the team. Nick Seams, in just one of his handful of races, is running pretty good already, so there's a lot to look forward to the rest of the season.
Well, congratulations, man. That was one heck of a run, and you guys have obviously a ton of potential. Look forward to the rest of the season, buddy.
Thanks, Doug.
Alex Krapser finishing in the 2nd position. And now it's time to go to victory lane to talk with your winner, Austin Edwards. The mic is yours, my friend. Congratulations. What a dominant drive.
Yeah, Marty, I wasn't really expecting to dominate like that today. 5 Flags is not my strongest track. Pretty much running from Alex Krapser all day and wondering if Luke Turpin had some special strategy down his sleeve, but all worked out well, and thank the heavens we didn't have a caution in those last 50 laps and just brought it home clean.
What's the mindset like when you've got a long run like that and leading by only 2 seconds on Alex Krapser?
Honestly, Marty, at a track like 5 Flags, it's all about getting through lap traffic. Not sure if the broadcast caught it or not, but it was 3 wide pretty regularly with some lap cars. Had a couple blocks thrown, a couple taps hit, whole bunch of good stuff going on there. So just surviving that stuff and try to keep the tires on it, manage the fuel, whole bunch of stuff going on. But luckily it fell placed just right for me today.
Next week, we got a good one at Texas. Give us the mindset.
Marty, I'm going for luck at this point. I didn't have very good luck at our first race this season at Charlotte. Had some contact and never recovered from that. So learned the hard way that track position is very important at those tracks. So going to be pushing a little harder at Texas, just being more aggressive, trying to keep it up front, and hopefully some luck plays in our favor and we can keep the points league going.
Anyone you want to thank tonight?
I got to thank all the guys, my team, EHP Racing. These guys put on one heck of a show. I think we got almost all of our cars in the top 10 today. That was really good showing by them. But thanks to Alex Gretz. He actually built a setup for us this week. Freaking genius behind the wheel, genius in the garage. Got us a solid piece here. And big thanks to JR Graphics and Design, JR Button Boxes, keeping us keyed up, ready to go, and keeping us looking fresh.
Cone car.
All right, we will let you go, Austin. Congrats on the win tonight, win number 2.
Thank you, guys.
Austin Edwards takes it home as the Demo Derby is underway. And let's give you your official results from tonight. Actually, all the results are unofficial. So let's get them to you right now. Austin Edwards gives the race win. Second spot, Alex Krapser. Third, Kendrick Fryer. Fourth, Kyle Martin. Fifth, Jonathan Bronson. Sixth, Luke Turpin. Seventh, Blake Wynn. Eighth, Edmund Jones. Ninth, Steven Rex. 10th, Alex Gretz. 11th, 11th, Zach Edwards. 12th, Jeff Edgar. 13th, Joe Campbell. 14th, Jeremy Letto. 15th, Greg Holes. 16th, James Johnson. 17th, Albert Hewins. 18th, Travis Sukup. 19th, Robert Colgan. And 20th, Mason Foster. Doug?
Jorge Bustos comes home 21st. Kyle Bartles in 22nd. Matt Pelletier is 23rd. Ryan Seams 24th. Nicholas Seams is 25th. John Friley finishes 26th. Derek Colson 27th. Jose Godino finishes in 28th. 29th is Pat Sullivan. Stephen Wetton in 30th. Gerald Thanos Poole in 31st. Rodney Sherman in 32nd. Art Hendren 33rd. PDJ Zeller, a rough night after having a fast car, comes home 34th. Chris Johnson, also early bad luck, puts him back to 35th. Daniel Miller 36th. Sean Andrews 37th.
Taking a look at the bonus points here for leading a lap, it's Austin Edwards, Alex Krapser, Kendrick Cryer, Luke Turpin, Alex Gratz, Greg Holes. They each get 5 bonus points for leading a lap. Austin Edwards will get 5 additional points for leading the most laps, leading 177 of 275. He also had the fastest lap of the feature at 17.875. That's another 5 bonus points. Starting on the pole position, of course, you may remember him as Alex Krapser. He'll also get 5 bonus points for that. And the hard charger of the race. Give a round of applause to Joe Campbell from 30th up to 13th place, up 17 spots, so he will be getting 5 additional bonus points. So now, Doug, we now turn our attention to next week at Texas. That's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, it definitely is. These super speedway races in XCAL, always non-stop excitement. It's honestly better than Daytona and Talladega in a cup car because it's just so much close racing. But you see these guys get these big runs, and they just come flying through the pack. We've seen guys come from mid-pack to the lead in a single lap before. But, Texas is unique, and as a team owner, I'm willing to bet that Marty Zakawa tells his drivers not to get too close to the wall when going to pit road. What do you think, Marty?
Absolutely. I will definitely tell them that for sure. So we will pack up here and say so long. As big thanks to our sponsors, as always, from XCAL Racing Web Shop to Higgins the XCAL Spotter Pack to Sim Racer Hub to Butt Kicker. On behalf of everyone at XCAL Racing, our president, Aaron Hillebush, our vice president, PDJ Zeller, and all our fine admins, and on behalf of my broadcast partner tonight, Doug Burns, Marty Sakala signing off from tonight. As we congratulate Austin Edwards, his second win of the season, he takes the XCAL Racing Web Shop 275 at the Five Flags Speedway. Thank you all for joining us tonight. So long, everyone.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Howdy, partner. This here's Higgins, the XCAL super fan. Howdy, partner. This here's Higgins, the XCAL super fan. This race promises to be a doozy.